Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to expand the garden a little bit forward. So if you take a look-see here of what we're doing, this is the existing garden, and we're running out of room for the things that we're going to add to the garden. We're going to expand it out a little bit forward. So, you know, there's the backyard's more of a rectangle shape, and we're kind of going to keep it in square right angles. So we're going to lay down some more of this weed barrier here and bring everything forward so we can put more containers out there. That way we'll have some rows, and we will put some mulch down and be able to put the new containers down. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we have this weed barrier here. So this is some weed barrier we got at Home Depot. It is pretty good thickness, and it holds its shape even in the sun. So this has lasted pretty well in our Texas 100+ degree weather. Once you get some mulch on it, and it stays moist, it does good. But even if some of it's exposed, there's some weed barrier that simply dissolves if it gets heat and air, and it doesn't last very well. But this does. This material is really good. And so what we're doing here is, this is just the grass. We're not going to do anything to the grass. We're not digging up the grass. We're not doing anything. We want to keep this easy and simple. And by far the easiest way is to pull this weed barrier down, and then we'll put the mulch on top. We'll get some more mulch, and it doesn't have to be expensive mulch. You can go as fancy as you want, free wood chips or bags of mulch from Walmart or Home Depot, and then go ahead and put it on top. So we're going to cut this. We're going to make it all the way out here, because when the folks come and cut the grass, although there's not much grass left, they can still cut the grass and do things. Now it's starting to blow away. All right, so this is, I don't know, this might be 3 to 4 feet width. So basically we are just going to expand this out. So here is our pool noodles, and these are at the dollar store. So yeah, you can get fancy border, brick, wood, but you know what? These pool noodles will give you a season, and then they'll eventually decompose at the end of the year. But at $1 a piece, they're pretty cheap. They're colorful, and they do a fairly good job, although we got some crazy grass here in Texas that's more of a weed than grass, and it crawls. So sometimes you have to come out here and pull the weed or hit it with a little Roundup so you can just keep the barrier. But anyways, what we're going to do here as this first part of the video is we're going to lay down this weed barrier, and we got some bricks over on the other side that we can secure it down. So let me do that so it doesn't all blow away. We've had these paver bricks, these 12 by 12 inch bricks. So what we'll do is we'll probably overlap a little bit here and kind of do this kind of number, right? Kind of get it underneath, secure it, and that way it won't just blow away when we're trying to do the initial work. So let me just put that down a little bit. Okay, and then this last stone kind of there. Okay, so we can cut the edges off. But right now, we just want it down there so it don't blow away. So, you know, like you, maybe most of your garden isn't just a well-planned, thought-out system from the get-go. It more evolves like, well, what we're doing here. So we started with just this one area, and as you watch videos and want to try growing more stuff, you're kind of running out of space in your backyard. So slowly but surely, the grass is being taken over by garden, which is, you know, I'd rather eat food and plant stuff and flowers than grass, because what do you do with the grass? It just does nothing. You don't come out here and play on top of it. Might as well turn it into something productive. So that's what we're going to do. So as we add more area, we can rethink where we want to position things. I think things with trellises and high background, we want to make sure that the tomatoes and everything are back there, and anything low is here. And this gets an all-day sun. This will start getting sun, as you see right now, 8 o'clock in the morning in the summer. And then we'll still get sun up to 2 and 3, and then it goes over the house and we start to get the shade. So it's a very sunny location. They always tell you put your plants, you know, that they get the full sun. Problem with Texas is when they say full sun, they don't mean that in Texas, because full sun will kill everything. So you got to be careful when they mean full sun. You might have to do shade cloths or something to keep that afternoon heat off. Make sure that you're watering a couple times a day in these containers, because, you know, again, people say, oh, you just water once every 3 days. Not in a container garden and not in Texas. This will dry out. One day you forget, it's dry as a bone, because you got well-drained soil, and even with this mulch on top, still dries out. So this whole container gardening thing in Texas with this summer heat in June, July, and August is really difficult. So you have to kind of do things a little bit differently from what people normally tell you about not overwatering and that kind of thing, and full sun. So anyways, this is the first piece. We're going to put this down. We're going to move our barriers forward, and then we're going to get some more mulch and put that down here. Unfortunately, our city doesn't have the free wood chips that everybody keeps talking about, that you just call your local city and they'll dump a whole bunch of wood chips for you. Our city don't do free wood chips, so I got to buy the mulch or something else. So anyways, we got this down. We'll get the mulch. We'll move the berry over, and you'll see what that looks like next. Okay. All right, so we're going to take the next steps now to put our garden expansion down. So like we put this weed barrier down, so that's there. Now what we want to do next is to, I'm going to put a little Roundup on these edges so that it kind of kills the grass a little bit, and I got to make sure I'm careful not to kill our plants. So let me kind of go along this edge here, and I'm going to give this a little Roundup around here so we don't have the grass coming up. So we're making sure we don't get the bad chemicals on our garden plant. We just kind of kill the surroundings here. All right, let's come on here. You gotta be careful because here is our trellising cantaloupe. So just kind of move him out of the way and kind of be real selective here, getting this underneath. All right, let me get over here at this edge. All right, be careful not to do the plant. Okay, so we got the weed barrier down, and now we're going to start putting the mulch down. So we went to get some of this black mulch, and you can get it at any of your stores, and it seems to work pretty well. You know, the mulch eventually breaks down and sometimes it fades, but this is going to do pretty well. It has so far. So we got our scissors here. We're going to open up the mulch, and we're going to go start to spread it around. So right on top of our weed barrier, there we go, like that. We'll have to put our border down. All right, let's get another bag. For this area, we have about 10 bags here. And so that should be at least enough to give it a thin cover. And you can always go back and give it extra thick layers, but just enough so that it holds it down and the weeds don't come up. All right, so we're going to get the rest of this down, and then we'll spread it all out and we'll see it in just a bit. Alright, so we got the bags of mulch out of the bag and into our expanded garden area. So here we go. This is what it looks like. So we used 10 bags of 2 cubic feet bags of mulch, and this is probably a a good 4 by 15 or 4 by 20 foot area there. I didn't really measure it out exactly, but 10 bags was a good guess because we guessed and we got a nice even layer, and that should help us with the weeds and everything like that. So now the next step is to expand things out forward and making some space. So with this area, we might really be able to get 3 rows. So if you look at it from this end, like I say, you're just kind of planning this on the fly. We could have 3 rows of garden here. We could have the back row, because the air conditioner's in the way there. So you got the back row that could be trellis things like the beans and tomatoes and things like that. And then we could have a middle row with some mid-level size plants, and then the front row with the low plants, maybe some root vegetables or stuff like that in containers. So again, we'll rearrange things here, see what we can put in, and you can easily expand your garden that way. So, you know, a lot of people think, oh, I got to tear up my grass and I got to haul in a whole bunch of dirt, and of course you can do all that kind of thing. But you want to make things quick and easy, and here in Texas right now, it's like I say about June 17, 18, and even though it's 9 o'clock in the morning, it's already 85, and that sun is already coming up, and it's getting really hot. So here in Texas, you got to come out early morning, because then when it's really hot, you go inside, and then you don't come back out until the sun goes all the way over the house, and then you can come back and do some heavy work, because otherwise you are in for a big chore. What is that, 4 feet?
4 feet.
Okay, so it's 4 feet by how many feet there? Start there, and I'll pull it all the way down. All right, let me grab that. So it's 4 feet by, I thought it might be 15, no, it's 21. So 4 by 21 feet. All right, so if you think about a raised garden bed, 4 feet long by 21 feet long, right? You'd have to get wood, and you could fill that with a bunch of dirt and all that good stuff. Or you can easily do what we did, buy a couple 10 bags worth of mulch, and in a 4 by 21 foot area, you got a nice fairly thick layer, so it will stop the weeds from growing under, and then you just got to make sure the weeds don't grow over with our pool noodles. Now, like I say, you put your containers here, and you can have a whole nice row of additional vegetables, which we're going to do. One thing about these pool noodles here, they're secured down with what these are garden staples. Now, if you go and buy these, get the galvanized garden staples, because they won't rust. We did them last year with the cheap thinner staples, and by the end of the season, of course, the pool noodles had it, but the staples did too. Staples all rusted out. These won't rust, so you could reuse these over and over and over again, and they're not that much more expensive to get the galvanized. So do that, and then like I say, for the pool noodles, they're about $1 a noodle at the dollar store. So to do your whole garden, not a bad idea. Cheap and easy compared to stones and bricks and everything else that you could do. So it's kind of a creative use. So anyways, like I say, we will expand the garden out here, less grass to cut, and we'll see how we rearrange things. Next year it'll be better thought out of what we put first, second, and third in the rows. But this year we just might push some of these little guys forward, and then we'll be putting some of the other things and maybe repositioning some of the other plants that need a fuller sun. So there you have it. That's an easy way to expand your garden with containers and not having to do too much work or cost.